In an exclusive interview available on ESPN.com Tuesday morning and in ESPN magazine later this week, Ramona Shelburne asked former UFC champion Ronda Rousey about the devastating loss in Australia. Rousey, when asked how she felt, quote, "I'm just really bleeping sad." Of her need for a rematch with Holly Holm, again quoting, "I need to come back. I need to beat this chick. Who knows if I'm going to pop my teeth out or break my jaw or rip my lip open again. I have to bleeping do it. It doesn't matter. I have to do it." Close quote. Rousey said Holm hit her with a punch about 30 seconds into the fight that left her woozy. She said she wasn't clearly thinking, didn't have her legs underneath her, kept telling herself everything would be okay if she kept fighting. And in between rounds, she said she did something she never does. She spit the blood from her mouth straight onto the ground instead of waiting for her bucket. Never does that. Again, quoting Rousey, "I just feel so embarrassed. How I fought after that is such an embarrassing representation of myself. I wasn't even bleeping there." Close quote. Ramona Shelburne is with us, and obviously those quotes paint a pretty dark picture, which is understandable. She lost. Do you think she's haunted more about the loss itself or the manner in which she lost?
All of it. I mean, when I spoke to her, it was about a 2-hour interview, and she was just heartbroken. I mean, I can't even really believe that she did this interview because she wasn't ready to talk. She didn't process this. She can't even turn her phone on, let alone have any idea how this is playing out around the world. The only thing Ronda Rousey knew when she opened that door to do this interview was that everything that people had wanted her to be, everything she wanted to be, this invincible fighter, this feminist icon, this person who would never lose, this woman who would beat everyone in 30 seconds, everything felt like it was over.
You and I spoke before the fight. You were down there live following her. And is it revisionist history that people that maybe even that week before the fight, but certainly afterwards, said, you know, she felt off. Something felt off. Does that jive with you? Did something not seem right? Yeah,
I mean, we say that now, right?
Of course, that's what I mean.
I was around her the whole time, and this is the first time I had been around her this closely before a fight. And so I did the same thing that everybody else is doing, which is simply to say, was something different this time? I was asking her corner, I was asking her trainers, her sister, her mom, everyone, and nobody said anything was different. But I was around Ronda Rousey for about 6 weeks, all the way through training camp, and I got to tell you, just staying with this woman for one day, keeping up her schedule for one day was exhausting. I mean, this is a woman who lives her life by pushing herself right to her breaking point 4 times a day. 4 times a day, you go, how is she going to pull this off? And so at some point, when you live your life trying to be everything to everyone, sometimes you just break.
When you become as popular as she became, if you fail, there's this odd portion that revels in the failure. How is she dealing with the fact that so many seem to celebrate that she got whooped?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I don't know that she's even turned her phone on. I don't know that she's read one word that's been said about her. But I asked her point blank, do you think that you know what's being said about you? And she said, yeah, that I'm a failure and I deserve everything I got. And she just knew it. I mean, she felt it. Because when you go out there and say the things that she says, when you put it out there, you know that when you lose, you're going to get your comeuppance. She knows it. If anything, she's harder on herself than anyone could be on her. And honestly, when I look back on this interview, I can't believe that she was that brave to see her that way. Like on my darkest day, I don't let the world in. I don't let anybody see me. I curl up in a ball. And this woman opened the door and did an interview. And I think that's really what struck me about her doing this interview. And when I was writing the piece is, you know, what's braver than that? Letting as a mess.
Was there anything
falling apart?
Was there anything that you've thought about after the fact that surprised you, something that you hang on to and you think, I wonder what this means about what the next act is? Because I was going to ask what's the next act, but I'm just curious if there's something that's been said that you think illuminates what could be.
Well, the thing that really sticks with me is I said to her kind of towards the end of the interview, did you ever think you could lose this fight? And she goes, I always think I can lose all of them. Nobody thinks I can lose, but I'm always scared. Every single second I'm in there, I'm scared. And so the fact that she can admit that, and really it explains why she fights the way she does. When you're really scared, it's fight or flight, right? Whatever's in you, the instinct, the guts, the fear, the anger, everything that's been building up inside of you, that comes out when you're really scared. And that's how she fought. Then she got hit in the mouth. And when you know, there's the old Mike Tyson line, everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face.
Right, yeah. And then she did.
And then she did.
So we wait to find out what's next.
She's going to be back.
Okay.
I mean, you know, at the end of it, I said, you coming back? She goes, of course. What else would I do? I mean, there was a bleeping in there. There were several bleepings.
Evidently. Ramona Shelburne, thanks so much.
Got it.
Once again, you can read Ramona's article tomorrow morning on ESPN.com or later this week in ESPN Magazine. For more on Ronda Rousey, you can log on to ESPNW.com, where she is part of the ESPNW Impact 25.